Good morning, good morning. How are you today? I'm your favorite rambling redhead. It's another beautiful Monday out here. Just a little different. For whatever reason, this one got a wild hair this morning. Was whining at the front door. Want to go for a walk. So that's what we're doing. Got a lot going on today. We had our trip to Cedar Hill State Park last week. Great success. Had a great time. Not going anywhere this week, but on Sunday we leave for our trip to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to the property up there. So it'll be a lot more like a boondocking trip. So I got a black water holding tank that I gotta get set up for. I got a generator I gotta get mounted to the trailer today. I'm gonna go ahead and do rotors and pads on my wife's Suburban. It doesn't necessarily need them, but I think one of the rotors is a little bit warped, so it's be best that I just do that. And I've also got a really big electric fan external transmission cooler, because it has plenty of power to tow the thing, but the transmission gets a little bit warmer than I'd like it to when I was towing. So gonna get that on there today. Real nice unit I picked up from Summit Racing here in Arlington, just right down the street. Drop my toilet bag here for the dog. Be right back. Sorry about that. Just dropped the holder for his toiletry bag. Just know if you're walking your dog, you need to have poop bags, because we pick up our poop where I'm from. So we're walking down the street. Talked to my wife's grandfather down here, coming down to use his garage to work on the Suburban today, because our driveway just stinks to work in. So we're gonna come down here and use his after I get done walking this little guy who just got a wild hair. Anyway, I'm gonna get started. Thanks for joining us. I'm super excited to say that this channel almost has as many subscribers. I figure I'm a couple weeks away from having more subscribers on this channel than my personal YouTube channel that I've had for 8 years now, that I choose to post random stuff that I need to put somewhere. So that's pretty cool for me. I had a video get over 100 views. That's pretty cool. And commenting's going pretty well, so thank y'all guys for that. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button down there. That helps. Go ahead and subscribe to the video, or the channel. That helps a lot as well. And if you really want to, you can hit that little notification bell. I do post these videos every Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock. I'll push out the social media content sometime around there to let you guys see it. You can find me a Rambling Redhead on Instagram, or by my name on Facebook, whichever you prefer. Anyway, I'm finished walking this guy, and I doubt I'll take you guys along for doing the breaks, but I just might feel like it. So we're going to get our day started. Here we go. Alright, well, it's a little while later now. I decided not to take y'all with me, obviously. Go do the brakes and the transmission cooler fan on my wife's Suburban. We did do the Dural 15900 from Summit Racing, where I got it. You can also get it on Amazon. I'll link it down below. Huge transmission cooler. It's way bigger than we probably need. It's got a fan on it. It's thermo switch and everything. So I got that all set up. And our next project is this. So right now my battery is here, but I want to put my generator there. There's brackets and things where you can mount a generator to these trailers on this back bumper. But to do that, so they have a 4-inch back bumper here. It's welded to the frame. I'm sure it's plenty strong. They make brackets that hang off the back of that with a shelf on it. I can put my generator on. But that's a ton of weight bouncing around at the very back of the trailer. It's not good for the frame. It's not good for the bumper. It's not good for anything back there. So instead of that, I'm going to move my battery bracket here down to here, hopefully, or as far back as I can get it, so I can build a platform up here that's removable that the generator can go on while we're traveling with it, because we won't need it every time we travel, or most of the times we travel for that matter. We don't plan to live in this camper full-time right now, so this is not something I'll need all the time, since I'm not going to be dry camping or anything like that. We'll just need it when we go to the property in Tulsa, because we don't have power set up there for us right now. It might become a thing where I just get a plug set up on the side of the shop up there to plug into, but for the time being, this will be our solution. So I'm going to get this bracket screwed on here, and battery moved, and I'll get back with y'all in just a minute and show y'all what that all looked like. Alright, so there we go. Battery moved. So it'll only temporarily be there on the bracket. I did end up having to take it out of the box just so it'll clear the front of the camper. But like I said, it'll only be there in that bracket when we are not, or when we are going to be carrying the generator. Okay, so my next step is I have to be able to clear these pins here so we can go in and out on this. So I've already measured it, and I measured my depth back. So I got a piece of wood inside that I've already cut for what I do believe is the base of the generator. I've actually got it back there, so I probably should go open that up. Make sure it fits onto the plate like I planned for it to. And then I'm going to use some boards that I've already got back there to lift that plate up just a smidge. And I should just be able to shoot that together and call this a day. Project today should be real simple. So I'm going to go back there. Let's go back there, and you can go with me, and we will get that generator unpackaged and make sure it's the size that we need. Alrighty, so here's our new, to us anyway, Westinghouse 3600 V generator. So this is not the dual fuel model. You find this guy on Amazon for about 300 bucks shipped, but it does have my 30 amp receptacle for the trailer, as well as the weird little 30 amp thing, the L530, and a good old 20 volt or a 20 amp. So that is what's going on the tongue of the trailer. As you can see, it's brand new. I haven't even filled it with oil yet. The oil plug is still empty. It's a pull start generator. So in my mess of a shop here, you'll notice that I have some plywood. So I'm going to measure this and make sure it's at least pretty close to where the specs were online. Then I'm going to get that cut down so that it'll lay out across the tongue to have this right on top of it. Alright, so there you go. Nice little sheet of 3/4 inch plywood, fresh treated. Put it right on. So now I'm going to go measure for the 4x4s that are going to ride underneath it. Then I'll just have to paint this thing and it should be ready to go. Alright, it's simple, but it'll work. That's all it took. So the generator will ride on here. It's nice and firm. I did think about putting another board across the center, but then I realized the feet on the generator are actually just on the two outside points. So they'll sit over the top of these two anyway. So the center of that board is doing more or less just holding it together. So I'm not actually going to bring the generator out here today. I do need to fill it with oil and fire it up in the backyard still. Just because it's brand new, hasn't been run yet. But this will still allow me to open up my propane cover here, so I can turn my propane on or off while the generator is on there for the refrigerator and such. But when we use the generator, it won't live here because my bed is right there. So obviously I have a 50-foot extension cord plus my 25, so I can run it 75 feet away from us to run it overnight. But I still got plenty of space here to reach my latches for the sway control weight distribution hitch. So yeah, that's that. I have one more step with it. So if I flip it over here, you can see where I have it marked. These strikes, the same down there, and they preside on the inside of the rails there. So once I add a 2x4 on each of those, it'll keep the plate from being able to do this number. And that'll be that for strapping this thing down. Once those are on there, I'm going to get some paint on it, and once it's painted, that'll be done. So my next project after this is I've got some little floodlights that I'm adding to where our outside light is right now. One, because where we're going to be will be particularly dark, and I would like the extra light of it. And two, the exterior light that's on here now for whatever reason is not working. So I have a 3D printed bracket that I made the other night that'll mount on the top of here with some floods. So actually, let me carry this shelf to the backyard here, and I'll show you all that stuff. Alright, so there's the finished product. As you can see, I've got the 2x4 there on the bottom now, both sides. And this thing just barely moves. So once I've got a pair of ratchet straps around that holding the generator and the poop can on there, I don't think we're going to have a lick of problems out of it. So that's another project done. Next up, I'm going to go get that generator started up and get it idling while I help my wife finish cleaning out the barn in our backyard. And then we're going to get them lights up on that bracket. So I'll see you guys in the backyard. So this is our Westinghouse 3600 watt generator. It's a 3600 watt 4650 peak. So our trailer is a 30 amp trailer. Uses this plug right here, just like that. And conveniently, a 30 amp service on a trailer has a maximum load of 3200 watts. So we will never exceed the needs of this generator unless I were to connect an additional 30 amp service to it through the ACCA 120 volt L530 connector right there. But I'm gonna get this thing filled up with oil, shipped with its oil in a funnel and a little toolkit. I got some gas, and just get it to idle here. Will help my wife with what she's working on over there. But it's shipped in from Amazon, 2 days, no problem. And we'll be using it this coming weekend for our first trip to Oklahoma properties. So I'm gonna get this oiled up real quick, and I'll get back with y'all in just a second. Choke on, fuel on, switch on, go. So there it is, one pull. That was nice for a at the moment it's not what I would call quiet, but I also did just fire it up. It'll have to warm up and it'll quiet down a little bit, I'm sure. But it is also, this is not an inverter generator, which would be the much more expensive quieter type. But I will have this one 75 feet from us, and I'll probably build some sort of block in front of it a little bit, just key to direct the sound away from us towards the river. So it fired up, so I'm gonna let that thing sit and idle for a half hour, 45 minutes maybe. And yeah, that'll be that. I'll shut it off and it'll be ready to make this trip. So I'm gonna help my wife clean up back here while that's running, and then we'll hop on to whatever the next project is I decide I want to do. Alright, well, after about 30 minutes or so, that's it. That's power cycle. Thing's been great. The generator did just fine. It is about the same noise level as, I would say, a lawnmower. So I've been mowing with a gas lawnmower in my backyard. It's probably about what it would have sounded like. So we are, I guess I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do about getting some cover over these guys in the garden here, because we are supposed to get a freeze tonight. Well, not a freeze, supposed to get into the 40s, so I'll probably be getting just tarp out, I imagine, just to cover them up, just toss it over top. They don't anything crazy. It's only supposed to get down to 39, 40 degrees, so I don't think it'll be that bad, but I just won't water them tomorrow. And yeah, I think they'll be good, but everything's looking great. Look at the number of tomatoes I got. Isn't that cool? Both plants. I gotta put a cage on that closer tomato, but these guys are making a mess out here. Oh, there's an egg in there. Look, see? It's one of Kentucky's brown eggs in there. So, alright. So now that's done, I'll let this generator cool off, and then I'll put it back into the shop. Also, realized I have to figure out which gas cans I'm going to take with us. Because thanks to the EPA, gas cans suck these days, so I have some older ones. But they're all pretty great. I'm going to clean up my shop, but I think I'm going to get these lights mounted to the side of the camper next. After that, I only have one other project, and that's the backup camera on my wife's Suburban, and it's not a huge deal. So yeah, let's go figure out what all we need for that. Alright, here's where we're headed next. So this is the exterior light for our camper. Now the plug here is pretty burnt up. Looks like it had a pretty good short in a bulb here at some point. So I've printed my 3D printer, this little bracket that'll preside. We're going to bolt it right on top here, just like so. A little bit of silicone. Then, I'm down here. Once we got it bolted on there, I have two Amazon special little 6 LED floodlights that go right onto the bracket. They'll point off to either side. Now, the simple solution to this problem is I could have just put a bulb in there, fixed the socket, put a bulb in it, and been fine. But here's what I know about those lights. They are super dim. They're good enough basically so that you can see well enough to unlock the door if it's locked, and that's about it. We intend to spend quite a bit of time outside of our camper, wherever we are, but specifically in Tulsa while we're there. So I want to be able to light the area beside the camper quite well. So it's my intention to be able to aim one of these really low, probably the back one, and the other one to be able to have it project a bit further out. Like I said, we are, for lack of a better phrase, boondocking where we're at. It is there's a building on the property. It has electric and sewer and such, but I'm not intending to be connected to it. I will just use it to I will dump my black water there once we get to that point in the week, but that'll be our next trip. So I'm gonna get some holes popped in the top of this, some silicone on it, get this bracket screwed down, and then I can toss these 2 lights on there and do a little bit of wiring that's required. This should be real straightforward. It's 12 volt, nothing crazy going on in there. So I've got a lot of experience with 12 volts, so I like working with this. It's convenient for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get it set up there and get it screwed in, and I'll get back with y'all before I move on after I get it screwed in. Alright, so there we go. Got those guys all bolted up in there, wired up. Gotta throw a little ceiling putty up on top, duck butter as we used to call it, when I have my outside light switch now. It's light. We'll see how bright they are once the sun goes down, but I think they'll be more than enough. Definitely better than what I already had. So I'm gonna throw this cover on here, and that'll be that. Another project off the list. Also, I didn't film it. Did this yesterday. I got all the lights off in here, but went ahead. In the boys' beds, I added USB plugs because there are no ports back here for them to charge devices on. So Deacon was having to run his all the way up here to underneath the kitchen table. That wasn't really ideal. So I added a USB port for each of them on their beds. So they could just charge tablets or phones there. Turn those off. And we'll see how those look at night tonight. But yeah, I'm super excited with how they look. I think it looks nice. It doesn't obtrude too much from the side. Probably once I get around to buying an awning. They're just so expensive. But the factory awning was damaged and removed at some point. Possibly ripped off by hitting something. Possibly at the same time that the stairs were damaged. Who knows? Wasn't there, wasn't mine at the time. But needless to say, we don't have an awning right now. From the factory, this came with an 18-footer. So eventually I plan to buy a new awning to put on here, and I will probably at the same time purchase one that has the lights built into it. And then these will become kind of obsolete, but I'm sure if we ever do any more boondocking, it'll be nice to have these as well. I imagine I should be able to see well off into the area around us with these guys, so that should be pretty good at night. So I don't know what I'm going to do next. I have to get the... Oh, you know what? I do. So I've had a few more things show up that I needed. I had to get another water hose for my sewer clean out, and I had to get some more blocks ordered from Camco, and I have a couple more adapters, and I have a black water tank that we ordered. So where we're staying in Tulsa won't be a campsite, obviously. So I've got a 30-gallon black water, 30-gallon gray water in this camper now, and I've ordered another 25-gallon Camco Rhino that I'll take as well. So that gives me, I can either A, add that to my black and have a total, or gray and have a total of 55 gallons of storage space for that, for one of those tanks, or I can dump into it and take it over to the clean out on the shop and dump it into the clean out on the shop. Because from what I recall, I can't get to the clean out with the trailer to dump it. So I might have to do that a few times, which won't be super fun, but it's kind of going to be part of the experience for the first few times we go up there. So anyway, that's going to do it for that project. I got a backup camera that I ordered for the wife that I'm not sure if I'm going to put on. And I need to lift the ball on the weight distribution hitch one spot. So I don't think you guys need to see either of that. So I guess we'll probably call it here. Can't think of anything else I have to do for the camper. So I've been your favorite Rambling Redhead. Thanks for liking and subscribing to the video. Like I gave y'all some numbers earlier. It's been great. I've been enjoying this. I really enjoy making these, and I'm going to continue to do so. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you later. Bye.